Tafresh Nun Tes was a year of polarization in Klal Yisroel. There was the Bundisten and the Kommunisten and the Zionisten and various groups and offshoots. And within the Frumme Welt, there was the Aguda and the Mizrachi, and within them there was also the divisions and subdivisions and competition. It was a time of machlekes. It was just then, says the Frierdiker Rebbe, that another group was just nisyaset, and the Rebbe Shmos said that he's worried about the results of this group, that even though it's a haste from the Frumme, but it could be more damaged than the Frei. That was the Lashon. It could do more damage. And it was in this atmosphere, in this backdrop, that this Mamer, Heicholtzu, which is coming to deal with Machlekes and Pirid Ahavas, was said. The Mamer Be'emes originally was said by the Alter Rebbe on the way back from Mezrich. Alter Rebbe was traveling, he went through a shtot, Morgon. There was a Machlekes zwischen the Lomdische Jungeleit and the Pasheter, and the Lomdische were more Mezalzel in the Pasheter. So the Alter Rebbe said this Mamer, and this Mamer, which the Alter Rebbe said, are the Yesedish which were afterwards repeated by the Rabbi multiple times. It's a Tzedek. Once the Frierdiker Rebbe says, interesting, there was a Machlekes in his time between the Maskilim and the Evdim, and his Madgish, the Meretwing, the Amaleke Maskilim, the Amaleke Evdim, but they had their differences. And the Tzemach Tzedek said also, the same Mamer, it says the same Yesedis, based on the same Drush, to deal with that Machlekes. Specifically, it's interesting, there's a Sikh in Tzadik Zayin that the Frierdiker Rebbe says, what was Ma'erer and Simchas Torah Tafresh Nun Tes, punkt then to say this, besides for the general atmosphere which was in the Yiddish gas, what was the most specific thing? That there was a Yid who asked someone else to pass him mashke, and he passed him in a cup which someone else had used. And for some reason this younger man didn't want to use this same cup, went to wash it. And that was what was Ma'erer, the Rebbe Nishma said to say this Mamer then. A few weeks later, Parshas Neyach, there was a Kiddush. So it nicht geheißen that there's going to be a Mamer. And the Rebbe Rashab wasn't supposed to be there. But he came in and he said he wants to join the Chassidische Fabrengen. This was in the Frierdiker Rebbe's house. Sitting over there by this Kiddush, there was a Yid from Beis who the Frierdiker Rebbe says was a Yirei Shamayim and a clean from any Pnius Atzmei, but he was someone who was mezalzel in Pashte Yidin because of his tkifus. And then the Rebbe Rashab said this Mamer again, and as it says, to address this issue. Nowadays, it's Yadua that the Rebbe had a meridike koch in this Mamer. There's many letters the Rebbe encourages to learn the Mamer. There's times when the Rebbe, by Fabrengen, would quote a lot from this Mamer. There's times the Rebbe encouraged to learn Barabim or Beyochid when different issues came up of Machlekes. This was always like the remedy for this Machlekes. How do you calm Machlekes? Through this Mamer. The Rebbe even learned, interesting, a Heirah from the fact that the Rebbe Rashab said the Mamer twice, and the second time was in the house, is that from them learning that when it's Machlekes, this is what the Rebbe was saying in Mem Zayin, the Rebbe said it wasn't so clear. The Heirah, the Rebbe said, learning a Heirah from the fact that it was said in the home, it says by the Mishpach. Meaning, in every kind of Machlekes, this is going to be the solution. So, what we're going to do now is, obviously we're not going to cover the whole Mamer. What we're going to try and focus on is take this inyan of Machlekes. What is Machlekes? What's the Sheirish, the Sibbe for Machlekes? What does it mean in Klippe, Biachas to Kedusha? And what's the solution? So we'll begin with how the Mamer begins. What is Midian? It's interesting. There are many Machamas in Klal Yisroel, in the Torah and später in Nevi'im, but Milchemes Midian stands out. It stands out in Kama v'Kama Pratim. Usually, a Milchama was a Milchama which was led by the Nasi of that day. If it was Mesha, Yeshua was the Sheftim. But this Milchama looks like it was somehow connected specifically to the union of Moshe Rabbeinu. Like it says, the pasuk that it brings over here is, Nekem nikmas b'nei Yisrael me'esem midyanim, achar Yosef alamecha. First, you will wage this war, this battle, and then you could pass away from the world. Meaning that in order for this Muhammad to be, you have to be in the world. Uleidach, the peak, the shleimus of your Aveda is going to be the moment before you go away from the world, is going to be this Milchama. So apparently this Milchama is connected with the union of Moshe Rabbeinu. The Milchama is also connected b'miyuchet with Klal Yisrael. All Milchamas, they would take some of Klal Yisrael. They would take representatives. They would take as many soldiers as was needed. The Lashon over here is not Heicholtzu, as a sollen sein some. Heicholtzu means it's a tzivi to everyone, to the whole Klal Yisrael. Everyone should prepare, so to speak, and send their representative to the Milchama. So even though technically it was a specific Yidden, but it was as if the whole Klal Yisrael had to gird themselves, prepare for this Milchama. Like it says, Elaf Lamate, like from every Mate, in other words, every Shevet has to be involved. So we see Moshe Rabbeinu is involved in a unique way, and Klal Yisrael is specifically, every Yid in Klal Yisrael has to somehow be involved in this Milchama. And then there's what the Milchama is about. Usually the Milchama is for people which are Seinim b'nei Yisrael. If people did something to Klal Yisrael, or people are not letting Klal Yisrael come into the land. No, it's get to Milchama. Over here the Milchama is Nekem Nikmas Midyanim. The Lashon is Nikmas Havai. That's the Milchama in Amalek is taking a Nekama for Hashem. So the question is, why is this specifically, this Milchama, connected with the Eibishter Alein? And the Eibishter Dafke Shem Havai. So we have Klal Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Eibishter, are all uniquely involved in this Milchama. Then there is the Milchama itself. The Milchama itself was run in a unique way. Usually in Milchama, the Milchama is because they attacked. Over here there was no attack. All the Milchama was to take their land. Taking the land was anyways, it was Eretz Sichin, which was going to be overtaken, which Midian is part of Sichin. It sounds like it's a Milchama of revenge. Kilo Nemer, it's a Milchama without reason, without purpose. There are going to be spoils which we will take from this Milchama. So the question is, what is this unique Milchama? What's so wrong with Midian that we're harnessing everyone, the Etzem of Klal Yisrael, mit Moshe Rabbeinu, and it's because it's against the Eibishter, and we're going to wage this war in this unique way. Okay, so let's put that aside, Mitzvah Shem will come back to that. So let's begin with what is Midian. It says, what is this klippa of Machlekes? Islam is an wenig. We'll see Siv Gimel. Omnom klolos inyan hu dine Midian u loshen modin u meriva. De zeu kol inyan klippes Midian shu a pirud vayis chalkus wo inyan sinas chima mu pirud alvavis shu a hepech legamre misiteret kedusha shu b'chinas ha'achtos nafke. The gather of klippe is pirud, the gather of kedusha is achtos. וכידוע שזהו עיקר ההפרש בין הקדושה לסטרחת. הקדושה הוא בחינת האחדוס. ונרז ממשיך. ושרש העניין הקליפה הוא להפך זה. בחינת הפירוד וישחלקוס דווקא. So that's the difference between kedusha and klipa בכלל. What's specifically the union of Midian? וזה עניין קליפס מידיון שהוא המודין וריב בבחינת הפירוד. And it continues, V'lachein ein midyon b'chlal ha'zaynumus. The zaynumus ha'knaini v'achiti chulu him ba'zayn midas pratis. Kol echad b'midas pratis de teyu knaini chesed chiti gvuru chulu. V'kol echad hu klipa pratis midas pratis de teyu menagedes l'midas pratis de kedusha. Omnum klipas midyon einam midas pratis. Ki im michlolus inyan ha-teyu sh'inyan ha-pirut. Shezeu ha'klal shoya b'chlolus ha-teyu shoya b'chinas anfa mispardi. And he finishes off, וזהו עניין קליפס מידיון למטה, שאינו בכלל הזין עמם, לפי שאינו במידה פרטיס, כי אם בכלל הסוטה שהוא הפירוט, שזהו שירוש ומוקר סיברס השביר. So what is midyon? Midyon is the shvir, the sibir for the shvir. Das heißt, the musig of pirut, of yeshes, which makes this is chalkos, which eventually makes pirut, and the shvir in teyu, Midyon is Teyu itself. All the other spheres, the way they are in Klippe, are Sitra Achre, that says the Menaged L'Akdusha in the parallel Inyan. Masha'enkin Midyon is Klippe itself. Is that a bisschen verstehen? Let's just try this way. What is the Havana, what's the Hagdara that we're saying that Midyon or Machlekes is a different kind of Yeshes? Everything's Yeshes. Meaning Taivis is Yeshes, Kas is Yeshes. Everything, obviously, somebody wants to, has a Chemdas Mamer, or any other Inyan. You're looking for Kovet or Kineh. Obviously, the Yisod is Yeshes. If I don't care for myself, if I'm not Yoker B'nei Atzmi, so I have no reason to chase after my lust or my greed or any other weakness that I may have. So what is Klippe that we're saying, this Klippe of Midyon, that B'muhusay he is the Nukude of all of Klippe, the Yeshes. So let's approach this from Perek Aleph. It's mistama the easiest way to zukommen zu der Sach, alles in der Bakant. What's Perek Aleph? In Perek Aleph in Tanya, the Alter Rebbe goes through different madreges in Klippe. Das heißt, in Midas Reus. The Yisod of all Midas Reus is Nefesh Adam, that's Mislabesh Beguf Adam, Lahachis Aguf. And he calls it from Klippe because that's the pastures, that's the Yisod of Klippe, is that my inyan is to be. I feel myself, which is really all of existence. The very fact that Inyani is to exist, which obviously in Elam Hazard terms there's nothing wrong. That's normal. I mean, if we would ask this table, do you want to be? Of course, Inyani, if the only thing he would be able to say is this the way he would say, I want to exist. Everyone's Inyan is to be. How could something's Inyan be to not be? So that's the Yisod of Klippe. Elamai. This comes out in different forms. There is the way it comes out in the Yisod of Eish, in Ruach, Maim, and Ofer. So this is how the Alter Rebbe goes weiter. Kas v'gai v'misei Eish, Helis v'tzonis misei Ruach, Tavis v'tanugim misei Maim, Ka and Atzlus v'atzvus misei Ofer. Now, obviously, these four Hagdaras are not just four dargis or four inyanim the way they are we've just found different expressions. Like the Alter Rebbe says beferish, and like his Mavur Liberal, that these are taka four madreges in more and less yeshes. So just like bepashtas, begashmis. If I'll take fire, and I'll take air, I'll take water and earth, offer, so the offer will sink to the lowest place. Maim will float, Ruach will go even higher, and Eish will go even higher. Like the Tava is that Ruach is mispashit, Masha'enkein Eish goes up. So he's the most light. So if we're talking in weight, meaning what's the most margish itself, where's he the most murgish in Yeshes? it works that the lowest taka falls the lowest. Just like it's like that regarding weight, so the same thing is in color. That offer has a very specific color. Mayim is transparent. Aber sof mayim could be colored. Mashenkin ruach is legamre not colored. And eish, good, eish is a andere Sache. It's discussed in the Mamer. How come there is ingen eis in eish? Why is it nitfis bereis? It's a besondere Sache. But bechlolus, it works malmata l'mayla, that the lower you are, the more you nitfis say in weight and say in color. And al derech zeh, in texture. Offer is solid, can't be moved. Or if it is moved, then it's moved mimakim lamakim. Mashenkin mayim is flexible. You could put your finger through water. Aber sof, mayim does have a certain body to it. Mashenkin ruach is the most flexible, the most edel of all metzias. Hecher from them is ish, because sof, the ruach is nitfes in a certain kamos. Begashmis, you take air, you put it into a balloon, there's a certain amount over here. Masha'enkin, eish doesn't even have that limit. You could blow on eish and it doubles in size, which is the only such mitzis. I'll call upon him, what's that mean though? That eish ruach mayim and offer, or if offer is the most gashmi shebegashmi, the most chumri shebegashmi, eish is the most ruchni shebegashmi, is the highest, the edelst. So al derech is in nefesh adam. In the Nefesh Adam, we have four, you say this meaning, we have four levels of expression of Yeshes. The highest being the Eish. Where we say Kas, V'gaivis, we say the Eish. Why is Kas, V'gaivis so edel? Obviously, Gaivim means that a person feels himself. And Kas is that a person is losing his temper, so he's full of himself at that moment. But sof, everyone understands that Kas and Gaive have a justification. Meaning, there's a reason that he got angry, there's a reason why he feels his yeshes, that he obviously has a maile, he's not stam mizgoy on another person. Like it says over there in the Mefarshim and Tanya, the difference between Hisporus and Gaive, the Hisporus is without reason. Gaive is a chobep, is to have a reason. So of course he's a Bal Gaive, but the Gaiva is meyused on something, so it's not pure Yeshes, it's Yeshes which is founded or hiding behind a cover of something true. Masha'in Kain, if we'll go lower to Ruach. Ruach is Sporus, Dvarim Betelim. It's already that the teichen of what this Yeshes is, this experience of Nefesh, the way he's feeling himself, the mask is pushed. There's nothing for him to really hide behind. It's shtus. If we'll go even lower. Sof, the ruach, there's something over here. If we'll say technically speaking, there's information which I could deliver. I'm talking at Dvarim Betel, I'm saying a good joke. I'm saying something which is not me. In Tainuk, the only thing which I'm experiencing is myself. What is Tainuk? Pleasure is I am feeling myself, just like Bepashtus. If somebody hears a good joke from somebody else, so good, ich kann das hazer. If I hear that you have pleasure in something, that doesn't do anything for me, because that's you. So what do we see? That Taivas Tanugim is noch mer yeshes. It's purely the person himself. Und sof, Taivas Tanugim, it's about something. It's repeatable. I could say that he had a Tainug in this Nusa. I'll also try out. It's something, sein Tainug or mein Tainug are two different things, but it's something which we could discuss. Atzvus, there's nothing here besides the person. It's not rational. It's not for a Sibbe. It's just, ich bin reingefallen in Atzvus, wie der Loschen is reingefallen. Reingefallen means I fell into myself. There's nothing else. It's Yeshes Alein, that's offer. You say the offer is the most Yeshes-dicker part of a person. maybe if we'll measure it, if we'll say it, b'signa nacher, the difference between eish ruach, mayim, and nofer, pashut technically, is how much is the zulas tefes makim. The more of a yesh I am, so the less the zulas is tefes makim. So if we work, if offer is atzvus, the fact is that when a person is depressed, nothing else exists. I'm sunk into myself. No one could be mesameach me. I don't care for anyone. I'm not interested in anyone. I'm involved in myself. I'm a geit a bissel edeler. If we talk in Maim, say it's in Taivis Tanugim, I do need something else. I need something to have a pleasure from. I need an apple. I need something which, so it's, I'm not purely involved in myself, it's with someone. That people which are misanig, you do it in another company. Aber sof, it's all about myself and I'm experiencing myself. I don't have a shared experience, me with someone else in a time. As mit the reden in Ruach, Dvarim Betelim, I need someone else. The whole inyan of Dvarim Betelim and Isparus and the Ruach, of which makes Litzonis, it's totally on the Sviv. Bis as me kommt zu Gaive is not even totally on the Sviv. Gaive is the Sviv. Gaive is a sort zach, which calling Yoni is the other person. I'm better than someone else. If no one else exists, then there's no musik called Gaive. Kommt es that calling Yoni is geboit, that there's something else which exists in my life. I'm not all about aniv avsiyet. Is within the world of Yeshes, it's a histisayidler Yeshes. Kommt es that the lower I go to offer, I'm the most involved in myself. It doesn't have any time, any reason, and it doesn't have anyone else. Mashenki, the higher I go, bis eish, it's more of a teichendike zach and less of pure yeshes, and it's more totally not just on me. Ich darf ankommen zu zweiten. And this is all the eish ruach Mamer nofer. This is not discussing this in the Mamer over here. It's just one way of approaching how we see the different efanim in yeshes in the person. We have, in all of these efanim, they are all rational. Sof, they are geboit on who the person is, on how the person expresses himself. So it's my yeshes, but it's the way I'm expressing myself. It's natural and normal to have all of these four efanim. Obviously, it's nafsh b'amis, it's yeshes. So it has to be moderated and it has to be harnessed in the right way. But this is expressions of the nafsh b'amis. Like these Arba Yiseidis are really, like it says in other places, the Arba Yiseidis are really the Esesphiris, meaning the Kechsa Nefesh. This is the Kechsa Giluim, the way a person expresses himself. Then there is a andere Sortzach. The Klippe of Machlekes. When does Machlekes come in here? Machlekes isn't that I care what somebody else is thinking, or that somebody else is intruding, or that's what we all call, I mean, there's different levels which Gaiva could lead to, or Kaas, so there's different Eifan. Machlekes is, ich kann nicht vertragen jen. The fact that there is someone else and someone else's Metzias bothers my Metzias. That is raw Yeshes. Yeshes Ki'ilu that hasn't been developed yet to express itself in a normal way. It's not a specific kind of Yeshes. It's just Yesh. It's just I am. The etzem fact that I am. And my Metzias must sein, and anyone else's Metzias is an error on my Metzias. Kilo Neymar, if in all the other Eifanim, expressions of the Nefesh B'Amis, it's a rational expression, even if we're talking in Atzvus. There's some kind of something his atzvus was about something. It's bein areich to what was the siba geremes. It's an angefallen atzvus. But I could talk to him. In other words, I could pull him out. How can I pull him out? I make him a bigger simcha. Machlekes has nothing to do. The premise of machlekes is I have to be everywhere and I have to be everything. So as long as something or somebody else exists, it's shayna everywhere on me. In Mamer is a siba for machlekes. So there's no solution for that. Because it's l'chatchila not something which is rational. So Mamela, there's no way to take away an irrational thing with a rational argument. As long as I'm in a thing. Perek Dalet. וזהו מה שקליפס מידיום, הוא סינס חינום דווקא שהסינא אינה מצד איזה פרט, שגורם לאיזה רוע, שהוא מנגד לאיזה פרט. שעוז איזה הסינא תלוי באיזה מידה פרוטיס. ואין זה מקליפס מידיום בפרט. The sibah for the sin is not because somebody did something, because that's not medium. כי מה שנופל בשביל לסכן מצד גבורה דתיו שהוא הכעס והסין על מנגדה מפני שהוא מנגדה לכן מסקטת ומריבים. The reason for regular machlekes is from gvura. Gvura of time. Somebody is being menaged to me and therefore I'm menaged to him. That's what the Rebbe calls over here, the Rebbe Shmaseiden, is a normal machlekes. That's not medium. But the real machlekes, the pulse, the reason behind all of machlekes, אבל עניין המודן והריב והסינא דקליפס מידיין אינה מצד איזה פרט, כי מפני שאינה יוכל לסבל לזולוסי גם שלא ידי כלל, ולא יהיה לשום מסומת נימי, ואי אפשר להיסחד נימי. וזהו הנקרא סינס חינום שהוא סינס חינום עלי דבר. And it continues. Sometimes it looks like there is epis pratim, in other words, there's some kind of sibbe. But alibe de emes, that's not the reason why you're having machlekes with him. In other words, what's the gather of machlekes? The gather of machlekes has nothing to do with what he did or any way to justify fighting with him. It's the etzem fact that he exists. And he said, Biza zezokda gam shlayadei klal, even if he doesn't know. Which is a very interesting thing which you see in machlekes. That a person, bepashtus, you see that fights lead to something that a person I've literally never met to, I never had a conversation with, but I could hate him. The only reason I'm hating him is because ma'arer and my mitzis. There's nothing not likable or not lovable about him, or a reason to hate him. There's not pshat that he has a psechisoren, he has some. I don't know. I've never met him. But machlekes is kilo. It takes away every rationale. I don't need to explain what's wrong with this person. What's wrong with him, mitzidi, is the fact that he's not me, or the fact that he's ma'arer and my mitzis. So in any other inyan, I have to explain. Over here, there's no explaining to do. Not to myself, and not to the Svi. The problem with machlekes is that there's no real solution. How am I going to find a solution to a problem which melachatchila was never built in a way that allows for a solution? For a taine can I mine. If someone has an argument al pi seichel to himself, why he fell ba'atzvus, why good, so there's a solution. He's bonanus psazach. If lechatchila he's coming from a place which is not rational, there's no weight of him. Lass mir sagen ein bisschen tiefer. Es ist nicht nur a taich that it's I can't deal with him because he's irrational. He's more powerful than that. Alibe de emes, the etzem of a person, we're talking nefesh b'amis, the etzem of a person is taka not rational. The reason a person strives to survive, wants to exist, doesn't begin from the fact that he thinks it's going to be worth it. It's because of I be'etzem is Nefesh achas mitzad klipa mislabesh b'dam adam lahachis aguf. Inyani is to be. And that's not something which makes sense, and it's not supposed to make sense. Inyani is to be. That raw atzmi is dike nefesh, to want to be, is what's really pushing all of Klippa. Tavis tanugim, kas, out. But it comes with a mask. Umemela, I could handle with him in such a way. Yeshes or machlekes, he comes in its most pure form. He's already not hiding anymore. It's ki'ilu, what was behind all of other Klippa has suddenly come out and said, here I am. I am here the way Klippa really is. Umemele, because I'm being so blunt with what I am, there's no way to really deal with him. He's so powerful because he's right. He's right. The reason why a person wants to exist and has this power of existence was never melechatchila gebayt on seichel, or memele seichel you can never use that as a solution. So memele is all powerful. That's the keach of Midian. Like you see Metzias, that for machlekes people do things which are irrational. This is the amount of money or keiches nefesh or things that they'll go through for machlekes. Ki'ilu may be that it started off because they cared about their covet. But the fact is that now it's only costing them covet. And it's costing, well, they were fighting about money, now they're spending more in court in order to save less. And the chances, it's partially, it's become totally irrational. It's lost all its proportions. Why? Because even though it may have started off from a certain tzir, of a teichen dike klippe, it's become teichenless, it's become pure klippe. And that's what was nizgala now with the machlekes coming out in its richtike emese eifen, which is klippes midi. Al pi zeh, we could go back to our original question with what's so important about this milchama in Midian that we have to have every one of Klal Yisroel should be involved. In every klippe, there's different shvat, there's different weaknesses, there's different strengths in every yid, and not everyone has to deal with everything. Memele, it's verstandig that if we're conquering the Shiva Amamim, which are the midas, proteus of klippe, so different parts of Klal Yisroel are going to be battling different issues, different klippes. When we have a klippe, which is not a klippe, it is the essence of klippe, and if we don't deal with that, then we're kidding ourselves. We're not really dealing with what klippe is. This is, if we're not going to address the fact that everyone is really be'etzem a yesh, umemele inyani is to be, I'm never really going to be addressing all the other milchamas, which I'm going to be doing later, b'shas ha'knisa la'aretz. So zicher b'shas ha'knisa la'aretz, I have to have that every shevet and everyone should be involved in their own way to battle with the different issues. But before we go into Eretz Yisrael, every yid, because the tzad hashav between everyone is, that is a yesh, meaning be'etzem that everyone has this weakness for machlekes, for that someone else is ma'arid on my metzias. If I don't deal with that now, then it's a brach levatala dealing with all the milchamas later. So every yid, Heicholtzu meitchem, alle, elef lamate, every shevet has to be involved over here to fear this, to fear the milchama against this yeshes. That's why we say it's an akama me'avaye, or lahavaye. What's a lahavaye? In all other klippes, we're not dealing with the Eibishter Alein. We're dealing with expressions of klippe, which are obviously zeh luma zeh against expressions of alakus. So you have specific inyanim of alakus, which this is the menagid to. So let me sagen, if there's going to be Chachma de Lumazeh, it's going to be Menagit the Chachma de Kedusha. So it's going to be Menagit the Heicholtzu Torah. It's going to be a Ave Zorah, so it's going to be a Menagit the Ahavas Hashem. I'm not going to say it's Menagit to the Eibishter. Midyan, Yeshes, is what Klippe is. It's the essence of Klippe. So it's Menagit to the essence of Elokus, of Kedusha. So it's Menagit to the Eibishter. Therefore also, is verstandig why the Melchama in Midyan can't be a Melchama with a purpose, to be Mevarer, and to be Meyashiv, that part of Eretz Yisroel, like I would take in any other design numbers, like I would have the Moshel in Ahavas Zorah. So we say that person has a Geschmack, the Moshel in Perek Tes, he says that someone has a Tanugim in Elam Hazeh, so the Nefesh Elokis could take the Tanugim of Elam Hazeh and be Mailit and use for Kedusha. Fakert Ave B'Tanugim and the Eibishter is really based primarily on the Kecha Tainug, which there is uniquely in the Nefesh Abamis. Fine. And al derech zeh, like it says in Chochma de Klippe, Teiv Shachan Korev Me'acharachik, that Yisroel added the parish in the Torah was haste, that he took Chochma de Lumazeh and it was Mailit to Kedusha. There's a seder of taking Klippa and being Mailit. And that's Yishuv Aretz. Masha'ein ken aseretzich wegen Klippa allein. There's no purpose to this Melchama to overtake and to be Miyashiv. The purpose of this Melchama is to eradicate it. Because it's Klippa itself. So it's Nekeim Nikmas Havaya Mesa Midyan. This is what the battle is all about, is to beat Yeshes Alein. Because Yeshes Alein, that is Klippa. It's not the tzir of Klippa, it's a Klippa Alein. It's verstandig lefi zeh lesikum, why we have to have every one of the Yidden involved, why it's the Melchama and the Eibishter Alein, and why the Eifin HaMelchama in Midyan is in such a way that it doesn't have any teichen or purpose. It's not geblieben. Ey bazei, why do we have to have Moshe Rabbeinu involved? That part we didn't address yet. Or let's say it b'signa nacher. What's the solution? We described very well the problem. But we're saying that the solution for this can't be the regular Seder Aveda which we have of dealing with it, trying to be Mailit. And the answer for that is going to be Moshe Rabbeinu. Dafke the inyan of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Keach who Moshe Rabbeinu gives, that's going to be the Eitzah for Midyan. Another issue which needs to be addressed is that what we're saying over here, that Midyan is the Yisod of all of Klippe, and this is the Sibir Hashvira, and it's the Nekuda of Yeshes. Is L'chure, in other places in Chassidus, is Mavur Adish. The Moshel always says about Mitzrayim is the first Golos, and Mitzrayim is the Sibir for all the Golos, and the Sibir of all of Klippe, he is the beginning of everything. Heicholtzu from Mitzrayim, and Yitzias Mitzrayim is the solution of everything. Therefore, it's not considered like one of the Klippes, it's the Reish L'kol HaKlippes. Amol Zok Melach Amalek. Reish is going Amalek. And what is Amalek is the Etzim HaYesh of the person, and it says in Aveda it's the Etzim HaYesh of the person, in Klippe B'chlal it's the Klolos HaMakif of Klippe, the Etzim of Klippe. And when Melech Melchama and Amalek has to be that. And in Aveda they take different things. Mitzrayim is Mitzorim Ugvulim Hagbolis. Amalek is Kaltkeit or Sfeikes. Over here we're talking Machlekes. So obviously it's not considered, there's different things, there's different pratim, and in each one of these inyanim is another, we're looking for something else, and that's how we're going to be magdir what the etzim of Klippe is, and therefore it's going to be bringing a different solution, a different mahalach in Aveda. So Mitzvah next time we're going to have to discuss and explore those inyanim.